In order to understand how digital learning fits into my life, I think you need to understand my background and where I came from. So growing up, I had pretty humble beginnings. I was actually never met my father. He left before I was born. And my mom was actually in prison on federal hold when I was born and just taken to a hospital to give birth to me. And then I was put into foster care and then later adopted by my biological grandmother. However, when living with my grandmother, by that point in her life, she didn't really have much. She was already 70 years old, taking care of me and my two brothers, and really didn't have enough to get by. She only had Social Security. And later, my mom, she was diagnosed to be insane by the FBI while she was in prison, but later dismissed because of lack of evidence on the charges that she had, and she came to live with us. So this just created kind of a constant source of chaos in my house where my grandmother and my mom were constantly battling over everything that you can imagine. And really, neither of them had time to focus on any of us. So growing up, we were extremely poor. We were probably one of the poorest families in the neighborhood. I remember in high school, they did a school drive and they had to deliver food to us. They dropped off a box of food for us. We also, because of all the fights that were happening in my house, there was a constant source of chaos and battles. By the time that we ended up having to sell the house because my grandmother got diagnosed with dementia, we had over 75 police reports for our house, and we were the only family that had ever lived there. And we had the house as soon as I was born. So just constant source of chaos, which made it just really hard to focus and to get anything done. And growing up, there wasn't an emphasis on education. There wasn't an emphasis on being successful. My grandmother, looking at my mom, she just kind of couldn't handle taking care of herself, let alone everyone else. And my grandmother, by the time that I came around, she was unfortunately starting to suffer from Alzheimer's and then later dementia. So by the time that I was in my junior year of high school, I was pretty much taking care of myself as well as having to take care of my grandmother, keeping the house going, helping her figure out her bills and things like that. My mom would come and go, just leaving me alone, being the youngest kid to take care of everyone. However, I wanted more for my life. I wanted to be successful, to live a different life, to be able to actually do the things that I wanted, to explore the world, and not just be trapped in South Jersey. So I was motivated. I worked hard, and I decided that the sky was the limit, and I decided to apply to MIT as well as a bunch of other schools as an undergrad. And luckily, I got in, and that was a life-changing experience for me. But even then, it wasn't easy. When I got into MIT, one of my best friends told me that the only reason that I got in was because I was black. And then a substitute teacher at our high school, also said that no one from Winslow, which was the high school that I went to, would ever be successful. So coming to MIT, I didn't want to let that stop me. Instead, I wanted to prove them wrong. I wanted to show and demonstrate that regardless of where you come from, you can be successful. So throughout my time at MIT, I put in as much effort as possible, and I was able to do a bunch of amazing things. I did 2 internships at Google, one in Mountain View, California, and then later as a product manager in Zurich, Switzerland. I did the Cambridge-MIT exchange program where I was at Cambridge University for a year. I graduated with my bachelor's in electrical engineering and computer science in 4 years with a 4.9 out of 5.0 GPA. I stayed on for my master's. I got a 5.0 GPA for my master's, and then got accepted into Stanford, Berkeley, MIT, and UT Austin for my PhD in computer science with a National Science Foundation graduate research fellowship. And kind of throughout this entire process, throughout my time at MIT and even to this day, there's one question that has been bothering me. And that's why. Why was I able to be successful when there were so many people, so many of my friends that I saw that got trapped, that were stuck, that weren't able to make that leap and able to take advantage of the resources and to reach their full potential. And a lot of people have said that my story is that I'm extraordinary or exceptional or an anomaly or even just a fluke. But I refuse to believe that. I don't think that I'm special, or at least I don't want to be. I want to live in a world where regardless of where you come from, regardless of the challenges you face, you can be successful, you can reach your potential, you can go out and do amazing things, and you can overcome those challenges that you face. And I think there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of different aspects of what helped me become successful. One thing that I think was incredibly important was the people that I ended up meeting along the way. I didn't have a strong biological family. There's a lot of chaos going on. But at one of the roughest points, my junior year at high school, when my mom had left and my grandmother was suffering from Alzheimer's and I was helping her, one of my teachers, my trigonometry teacher, Chantel Smith, she, with a careful eye, just noticed things were going wrong. She first saw that I had braces on my teeth that were falling apart. Literally, brackets would come off. And she asked me, what's going on with your braces? And I told her that my family couldn't afford to take me to the orthodontist anymore. So she took me to her children's orthodontist. She then later helped me do my driving lessons so that I could get a job and I could work and earn some money to take care of myself. And then when I went to MIT, when my grandmother got diagnosed with dementia and Alzheimer's and we had to put her into a nursing home and sell the house, she gave me a place to stay so that I could come and visit. And what I really want to emphasize and what I think this story shows is the fact of just how powerful human beings can be and how we can make such a difference and such an impact in someone's life and bring them to a level that they couldn't have achieved by themselves. And that's what I see or what I want to see more of in digital learning. We've done a lot of stuff to increase access through the amazing work of MITx, edX, OCW, as far as getting content out there. And that has brought a lot of people in. But if we want to expand our population of people that we can reach, we need to leverage the scale of humanity. We need to leverage the people that we're attracting to these classes and potentially help them meet one another, help them foster these relationships so that they can achieve more and accelerate their learning. So during my Master's of Engineering and work that I also hope to continue during my PhD, we looked at different subpopulations in these massive open online courses and MOOCs. One population that was really interesting is that we looked at teachers and teachers that were enrolling in these courses and found a significant amount of both current teachers and retired teachers and even teachers of the subject that were enrolling in these courses. But they were going unnoticed. But we could leverage their potential to actually help them, we could leverage their expertise to do distributed instruction, to get these people involved, to help them kind of break down the content and make smaller communities. You can imagine doing location-based things in order to create potential study groups. I also did research using machine learning to automatically identify and characterize different subpopulations in these massive open online courses using a method called topic modeling. Well, in addition to identifying the different kind of behavioral trends within a course, you can use this as a recommendation system. So you can imagine recommending students that complement one another together to do some form of matchmaking, to enable them to work together to go further. And I think that this might not be the final solution, but I believe that we need to go down this path. We need to explore this if we are truly to get the most out of the digital learning and the resources that we have and to reach more people and expand the population that we've already brought in to education and to digital learning and to make the world a better place. And kind of with that's my goal. That's the thing that I want to work for. And ultimately, I want to see and live in a world where, again, regardless of where you come from, you can be successful and you can make your dreams into a reality. Thank you.